of this year. Sorry, no. So probably most people on the call know at this stage that the Go Games is in existence for about 13 years now. And then there was a revamp of it, and the big revamp is that it's now the Gaelic Games Go Games policy from the three associations. So I'll just play a short video and hopefully the technology will go with me.
So what are Gaelic Games for children? Go Games are Gaelic Games where every child gets to play. It's where children lead the way. And with pitches and equipment modified to meet their needs, children will develop at their own pace and enjoy themselves along the way. So get your boys and girls involved now. With Go Games, every child gets a go.
So the purpose of the Gaelic Games relaunch was just to refocus child-centred inclusive activities for our largest playing cohort. So sometimes we do forget that from under 12 down, the largest playing cohort that we have. And I suppose that anybody who's on the call that goes to your nurseries there from under 8 down, there's a huge amount of children coming into that. So to get them actively involved, it's a big undertaking. I suppose it is one of the positive things that we have within the Gaelic Games family over the last 13 to 15 years. So to reiterate our commitment to developing a fun learning environment for this, our under 7 and under 12 members, to reimagine playing rules, to innovate and enhance the playing experience in family for all. So there's slight changes in the rules, and I suppose over the years there's probably different interpretations from county to county, and that's fine, but to have a standardized policy document that's there for everybody to pull from and make sure that a child has the same experience whether they're playing Cork or they're playing Camogie and Antrim. That's the real purpose of the policy. And then realignment with the phase 2 stage of the Gaelic Games player pathway. So the player pathway has been launched in the last 2 years, and just to ensure that we're aligned with the needs of the player pathway. So what are Gaelic Games? So Gaelic Games, what are Gaelic Games Go Games? So Gaelic Games Go Games refers to a games development pathway which is aligned to the Gaelic Games player pathway from F2. So for anybody that doesn't know that, I'll just ask maybe Shauna to put the player pathway into the text box over the next couple of minutes, and you can look at that for yourselves. So the emphasis during this phase is on further developing functional movement skills and the early acquisition of the specific skills of Gaelic Games. So all sports science says that at that age group that the fundamental movement skills are the most important thing for any player to be able to enjoy the game and play the game. And they have to be, the players have to engage in them and be able to experience them at their own level. And that's what the Go Games provides for them children. So it provides them with an opportunity to be able to hone their skills, to be able to hone their movement skills, and to be able to do that without the pressures that we put on in the later stages of the player's growth. So defining Go Games. So Go Games are modified small-sided versions of hurling, Camogie, Gaelic football and ladies football, which have been devised to cater for development needs of children from 7 to 12 years of age. Go Games can be played in schools, clubs and our community settings. So I know myself that we would have communities there that would be engaging in the Go Games outside of, say, traditional clubs and schools. They allow children to have fun, growing and learn physically, socially and psychologically and develop the key attributes for life. Go Games are inclusive structure to cater for the needs, abilities and backgrounds of all participants. Oh, after freezing there now. So I suppose that what's new from the old policy to the new one, and there's not anything that's massively revolutionary within the new policy. I suppose the biggest thing is there's a common policy across all associations. So there was variations from Camogie to LGFA to hurling to Gaelic football, and they were slightly different in each county, maybe different in each province. Whereas now we have a universal one. So if your brother and sister are going down playing the same games, they should be playing entering into the same game experience. Now, I am aware that this is launched since last March, and there is a little bit of betting in. So within counties, we are aware that the Camogie players might have had a slightly different experience to the LGFA players, and the LGFA players had a different experience to the hurlers and footballers within it. But we're hoping coming into the new year, into 2024, that there will be a stronger alignment, and that will filter out in the next 12 months. And that was a little bit of teething where the policy was a little bit later being embedded. Some people were going with the older version, and some people were engaging in the newer version, and that did cause a little bit of conflict in 2023. Whereas in 2024, this has gone around an awful lot more provinces, counties, clubs are aware of it, and they'll be able to engage in it. So the next one is innovative additions to playing rules and numbers. So the numbers is the big one. So it should be easier for clubs to be able to engage in the numbers. So the numbers are low. So at under 7, you can go as low as a 4-a-side, and that should be embraced. So we're not saying that every bit you go out to, we're going to see 4-a-side games, but if you're in a rural community and you have lower numbers, this means that it's easier for your club to engage in this. So if you're in a big urban area, you mightn't be going to the lower numbers every week. But if you're in a rural area and you're coming up with a couple of rural clubs coming together, it means that the numbers enable you and your club to be able to engage in multiple teams within it. The introduction of blitz format as standard from under 7 to under 11. Okay, so it is standardized that all clubs and all units are engaging in blitz formats standard from under 7 to under 11. Self-paced educational opportunities. So there is an education. So we have a Go Games coach education workshop that is available for all our coaches, and this is self-guided, and it's available on the Tugger platform. So it's the Gaelic Games platform. And then we have a self-paced referees module, and that's going to be available in the first 2 weeks of January. So for clubs coming back up next year and they're trying to recruit new referees, that self-paced referees module will be there. So I would urge everybody on the call this evening to engage in that, and maybe try and get it circulated along your out among your membership, especially that underage membership that can do it on their phone sitting at home, that they don't have to go to an in-person venue. So they can become Go Games referees qualified by doing the modules at home. And then the last thing is the activity approval system. So this is coming in as standard, so that any activity event outside of the county-run program. So if you have a blitz that you want to organise within your club, you have to go through the activity approval system. So that's a link which Sean will put up in the text box at the moment, and that your club engages in that and looks for approval for your blitzes. A brief background on that. So a couple of things. So we need to know the blitzes that are going on. So if a club decides to organise a blitz, and clubs are doing excellent jobs on these blitzes, we need to know from an insurance point of view when that blitz is going to happen, that they have got approval for it to happen, and then if something happens along the way, that has gone through the structure to get approved, and that's what it's there for. So it's a 3 or 4 minute online form that people have to say out, and I am aware that coaches, clubs have an awful lot going on. But this is there to safeguard against any kind of mishaps along the way. And the other thing is that we are aware of some clubs choosing to go to external game or blitzes, so external to the county or external to their province, and maybe not going to their own blitzes that weekend. And if you have 2 or 3 clubs that have do this on a week, and you have a club remaining within the county that was all set to go to their own county blitz, that means that club has got punished because clubs have gone to something else. So it's just a safeguard to make sure that if clubs are going to something external, that they're not going and not engaging in their own county games program in lieu of something outside of that. And that gives the option of Go games as on an evil keen for everybody, and to make sure every club is getting a proper amount of games over the course of a year. So the cross-associational approach. So Go games are a national policy of the GAA, Camogie, and the LGFA, and their constituent units, a provincial county club and educational levels responsible for the organisation and delivery of Go games. Each unit must be aware and comply with the provisions of this policy. All units and members participating in Go games are bound by the official rules of their association. So the purpose of the policy is to deliver a structured, standardised and unified approach to the development of our young players across all 3 associations, as we said before. And the 6 aims are going, so the club is core, as we were saying, that each child going down is getting some kind of activity within their club. It's player-centred again, that the child is put at the centre of anything that we're doing. Quality coaching experience, and that's why we've put in the self-guided online coaching module, so the connection between the different associations within the club at the Gaelic Games family, inclusive, and then the last one, the most important one, as many as possible for as long as possible. And that's where we should be working within our numbers and the change within our numbers. So all participants play in the game, i.e. everyone has a go. Games are small-sided, and I think that's something that we have embraced and we have got quite good at. But we do have, and I've seen it, I have a daughter at 8 years of age, and sometimes we can get lazy. So we go down to the club and there's 14 players and the opposition have 15 players, and it's, do you know what, we'll throw down 2 goals and just play a game. And I seen it during the summer and it was a nightmare. Like, the children weren't getting any kind of a touch of the ball. They were making daisy chains and sitting in corners, and you were going, this is madness. So stepped in and I refereed one of the games, and we had 2 games, and it was a better experience. And you can see it. They engage in it better with smaller numbers. They have a better experience and they get more touches through the space of 30 or 40 minutes. Modified playing rules. Participants' needs are catered for at under 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. The under 6 age group or below is not permitted. So an under 6 can play under 7, but there is no standalone under 6 blitzes permitted. Okay, so 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds are still able to engage in the club nurseries. Endeavour to play the minimum numbers. So we should be looking to go at the smaller numbers. So anyone looking at that and that they have massive numbers of maybe 50 and 60 and going, Jesus, how would they organise 4-a-side every weekend? That's not the case, that you have to do that. But if it's within your powers to go as low as possible, so 4-a-side will be loads of touch, 5-a-side. So the higher up the numbers we put on the pitch, the less touches there are there for the players, and probably the less opportunities there is for them to learn. So if team sizes are smaller than the max stage, so if we are going lower than the max, pitch sizes can be reduced relative to this. And sometimes that's a little bit of common sense. You're there standing on the pitch and you're looking that the ball is been poked and they have to chase after it and poke it again and again. We said, you know what, we'll reduce the size here by 10 or 15 yards and it'll be a better experience. So it can be dependent on the pitch. On an evening, it can be dependent on a couple of different things, but there is a little flexibility within that. And I think people that are experienced within Go games will cop that. And there is a difference between children playing at 7 and 8 year old on an astroturf compared to playing on a grass pitch. And there's a difference between playing in March and playing in the middle of June or July. Participants may play up to 2 Go games age grades. Under 7s may play at their own age group plus 8 and 9. Sorry, I'll go back and read that again. Participants may play up to 2 Go games age grades. Under 7 may play at their own age grade plus under 8 or under 9 level. Okay. Now that within a club, and there's different clubs on the call tonight will have to interpret that differently. So if you have a bigger rural club, there's no need for your 7-year-old to play under 8. Whereas if you're in a rural club and you need an under 7 to fulfill your under 8 quota, that's perfectly fine. So for different people, that'll mean different things about the call tonight. In clubs and primary schools up to under 11, no league or championship competition shall be organised. No scores shall be kept or utilised in any way, and no provision is made to present a trophy, cups, etc. from under 11 down. Clubs and primary school blitzes shall be organised subject to association rule. No provision is made for organisation of club or primary school Copeland blitzes with formats that include knockout games, semi-finals, finals, etc. from under 11 down. So that is saying, so from 7 to 11 there. Under 12 is slightly different. We'll get onto that in a couple of minutes. General guidelines: children at 7 years of age and younger are still in the process of developing the fundamental skills required to develop early acquisition of the specific skills of Gaelic games. It is therefore recommended children aged 7 and younger are introduced slowly to Go games with their continued participation in club nursery preferred. So they should be going that very non-competitive environment, and we're not bringing them in too early into this. Go games explicitly commences at under 7. So under 7 is the first age group where blitzes are able to be organised, with participants permitted to play at 2 age cohorts. Children whose 6th birthday is on or after January the 1st can play at the under 7 age group. So under 6s can play at under 7 in that calendar year only. So the under 12 age group, as we said, so a lot of the previous slides have mentioned under 7 to under 11. So the under 12 age group, only children whose 10th, 11th and 12th birthday is on or after January 1st can play in the under 12 age grade in the calendar year. Under 12 age grade is organised on a league and blitz basis. So blitz are still permitted at the under 12 age grade, but a lot of counties at this stage will be going to our league format. So groups of 5 or 6 and everybody plays everybody. No knockout rounds are permitted as part of the under 12 league program. So it should be organised on a fully round robin basis with everyone playing everybody. Go games should not be used as grading for any older age grades. 1v1 games are permitted at this age grade, so you are allowed to play 1v1 games. And going back up to the league, the league basis. So at that stage, there is no semi-finals permitted. However, it is permitted for under 12s to play in a finals round. So that would mean that the first and second within that group of 6 will progress to a final. Third and fourth will progress to a final, and fifth and sixth would progress to a final. So everyone within their group progresses to a final, or maybe you have 2 groups of 6, and first from one group plays first from the other. That is permitted, and that is allowed within under 12 age group only, and it's only allowed at county organised at the county organised games program. Okay. So a blitz or a festival must include a minimum of 3 clubs or multiple teams from 2 clubs. Okay, so a lot of people on the call might have 3 or 4 teams within their club, and it's permissible for you to go down as under 8 or under 10 and play the club down the road who also has 4 teams. So they bring 4 teams, you bring 4 teams, and everybody plays everybody within a blitz format. A blitz is defined as an event containing multiple teams and playing multiple games. There are no knockout rounds, e.g. semi-finals or finals in Go games from under 11 down. So as we said, from under 11 down, there's no semi-finals or finals permitted. However, at the under 12 age grade, finals are permitted. However, they're permitted on the basis of every team playing a league basis and all teams progressing to a final. And at that stage, you can present a cup or a trophy at under 12 age grade only. There are no cups or trophies presented to any teams playing Go games from under 11 down at commemorative events, exception in finals day of under 12 county organised league programs. So for commemorative events, and I know that there's historic commemorative events and memorial events especially that are very significant to clubs and counties. I'm included. I know I organise 2 myself, and they're very significant to the families involved and to clubs involved. So for them, you are allowed to organise the blitz. So it's turning from a tournament as a knockout tournament to a blitz as a commemorative event, run it where everybody plays everybody. And at the end of it then, if there's a medal being given out or a certificate being given out or a little trophy for every child involved given out, and it has the name of the commemorative tournament on it, that's hugely effective for the children going off, because they now remember the name of the person being commemorative because they have a medal or a trophy or an individual plaque, for want of a better word, or a medal going home with the name of the commemorative event. So there's just a sample club blitz. So there's a 14 blitz. So the blitz has been held in the Shamrocks Club, and then we have 1 club, 2 clubs. So we have 1 team coming from each club around the place, and they all play each other. Okay, so that's just a sample format. Everyone gets 3 games and goes home. At least 4 teams, minimum of 3 clubs, or multiple teams from 2 clubs. And sometimes it's not always that everyone has to play everybody. So in some events, it can be that you play 2 rounds, or you decide how many rounds you play. I know for my team, again, at under 8, there was a couple of the very warm evenings during the summer. I know that we didn't have too many, but we decided after 2 rounds that was enough. That you could see from the children that they were just out in their ear, and we scrapped it around. And then there was other days that we put in an additional round. So it can be a little bit flexible, as long as it's not going over maybe an hour and 15 minutes. After that, the children, anybody there is probably losing interest at that stage. So again, that's another. So club 1, team 1, club 1, team 2. So that's 2 in the same club. Club 2, team 1, club 3, team 1. So we have 1 club with 2 teams, 1 club with 1 team, and 1 club with a 3rd club with 1 team, and that would be the format of how we run our event. So our memorial events, as we said before, so can blitzes still be organising memorial events, for example? Yes, but not with cup or trophy being presented, so no finals. So you can still have your trophies or cups on display on the day. I know in some cases, they set up a presentation area, and every child lifted the cup, and that was kind of done in a rotation, and everybody was pictured with the trophy or with the cup on that evening, but nobody was, they weren't playing for the cup on that evening. But it was still a nice idea. It still made use of the trophies that were there on the day, but to put the winners on that day. This can be Joe Bloggs Memorial Festival, Camogie, for example, rather than Joe Bloggs Memorial Tournament. And as I was saying before, will more people remember, so Sean is on the call, so will more people remember, Sean, if 1 child takes home a cup, or if every child at the festival has a medal or a certificate, for example, with Sean's name on it, and that they, year on year they're going to the Sean Fox Memorial Tournament, or Memorial Blitz, apologies, and Sorry for your demise, Sean. I didn't mean to that. So on the policy, we have each of the age groups lined out as such. So there's a picture like this with how many aside you're able to play, the zones, pitch size, goal size, ball size, the playing rules for football, the playing rules for hurling, camogie, the recommended duration, how the restart starts. So this is under 7. So restart, sideline free, a sideline free from halfway, note team conceded the score, puck kickouts from the hand on the white ball. Okay, so with the option of that. Free sidelines, all taken off ground, players 10 meters away, players fouled or nearest to a player to take. And I think there's some very good practice at 7 and 8 where I think when you've adults on the pitch, the sting is not there of trying to win anything, and the look around and make sure everybody takes a sideline or everybody takes a free, and that there's a rotation in the goalkeepers and stuff like that. And it's just to make sure that that's continuing up along the age groups. So I'm not going to go through every one of these, but that's the under 8 one there. Okay, so as you can see, so it's 45 to 30 meters is the pitch dimensions for under 7, and we go to that one then and it moves up to 65 by 40 meters. As we go up again, it stays the pitch size stays the same, but it goes up then at the next age group. Apologies, now I'm missing the top of my screen here, so I'm not able to give the commentary on what age groups. So that's under 10. Sorry, I'm just moving it there. Okay, and there's slightly different rules on the restart. So I'll let you go through that on the policy document. Shauna, would you be able to put the policy document into the text box there as well, so everybody can have it and they can download it onto whatever their device is at the moment? I hope Sean is still there. That's under 11 and that's under a 12. So there's one of them cards for each of the age groups. So this will be what the under 12 would look like. So here's a second now to move the top of the screen again. Our under 12 and what it could look like. So this will be what the county ran games program. So depending on the numbers within your county, your fixtures for week 1, week 2, week 3. So there's 6 teams within a group here, okay? And it's a round robin where everybody plays everyone, okay? And then we're just keeping a win, draw, and a loss, and we're giving a respective point for that. So that will be done internally within the county, just to keep a table so that we can keep an eye for the finals day. Okay, so there's an option then on the finals festival day of playing first v second, third v fourth, and fifth v sixth. And then in a bigger county, or with more teams within a county, you might have 2 groups of 6, or 2 groups of 5, or 2 groups of 4, whatever way that works out for your individual county. And then we're working towards that that day at the end of the summer, where it would be great if we could get access to a county ground or a central location where you'd have 4 or 5 hours of games like this, and then everybody goes home. Everybody goes home with a medal, but there's the winning teams probably are presented with a cup or a trophy. So the other thing that we mentioned earlier on was our Blitz event application. So if your club has decided that they're going to run a Blitz within their club, and they want to invite clubs, 3 or 4 clubs, and maybe that's a memorial event that you've been running for the last 10 or 11 years, or it could be going on longer than that. That's fine, totally fine, and they are well-established events, and they should keep going into the future. So if you're only inviting clubs from within your county, you need to submit the the Blitz event application to your county development officer. So when you go in, it's an online it's an online application form. When you go in, it'll ask you who you're applying to, and if it's a county-run one, you just put County Development Officer on the drop-down. So you'll get a drop-down, and it'll say County Development Officer, Provincial Development Officer, or if it's cross-provincial, it's the National Officer, which is Shauna Fox, who is on here. So if it's just within your county, send it to your County Development Officer, and they'll either approve or reject. So on the basis of a lot of the ones that would have been rejected during the summer this year, a lot of it was just lack of information. So it kind of comes back and with no information of who's traveling to the event or who's been invited and stuff like that. And that could be the reason for a rejection. We just look for a little bit of additional information. Oh, Grant, here's the list of the 6 or 7 teams that are coming. And once that's provided, it'll be approved at that stage. So once it's in line with everything that has been contributed tonight, there's no problem with an approval. I know Sean just get 20 of these a week, and there might be 1 out of the 20 that she has to look for a little bit of additional information. And once that's got, that's no issue at all. So a lot of them, if it's county-based, it goes to your county development officer. Again, once you put the county development officer in the drop down, it'll automatically go to them afterwards for approve or rejection. If you're inviting teams from within your province but outside of the county, your provincial development officer will need to approve that. So again, if you're in Cork and you're inviting teams there from Tipperary and Limerick into your venue, the provincial development officer will approve that on that occasion. And then if you're organising a bigger blitz, or maybe it just suits, so I'm living in Athlone, and it could suit there for, say, a Westmeath club and Roscommon clubs and Offaly clubs to come together for a blitz. So that's cross-provincial at that stage. So that blitz would have to go to Shauna for approval. And she'll just let the provinces know and the counties know that this is going ahead. Is there any reason for it not to go ahead? No, it's not affecting any of the local games programs, and it's not going across anything. So that will be approved. Okay. So again, I'll get Shauna's been kept really busy. I'll get Shauna just put a link to that in the text box there for everybody, if that's possible. So that's what the Go Games application looks like. So as you can see there, so just your code, make sure at the start of it that you're selecting the proper code. So sometimes we can fall into it, we're going in and maybe you have a coach that's heavily involved in the GAA end of the house, and they see the drop down coming and they put it under hurling, and it doesn't come to us then at that stage. So it slows down the process, because that'll go into the GAA. The GAA are looking at this and going, that's a Camogie blitz, and reject it with a note saying, this is a Camogie blitz, you need to reapply. So just make sure when you're applying that you put down the right code and it's going to the right person. So it should be coming from the executive within the club. And the reason for that is that the executive needs to know of these things going along. So if a phone call comes from the county board, they say, oh, we've got an application in, and the executive within the club know nothing about this because a coach has gone on a solo run. It's just not a good look on the club. So just make sure that we have everything above board within the club as well, and remind your mentors of that. Okay, your county, your email address, all of them things down along the way. It's this stuff. It does take. I know I had to fill it out for my own club this summer, and it took 4 or 5 minutes to fill this out. So it's not a big process. So breaches of the policy, and I suppose coming into 2024, this is going to be one that we just need people to be aware of. So if there's unsanctioned tournaments that are in breach of policy, and that there has been unsanctioned tournaments going on in 2023. However, from 2024, if a club is found in breach, there will be brought, there will be in contradiction of rule, and they will have to go towards THDC at that stage. So just ensure that your club is not in breach of the policy as outlined there this evening. I'll give you Shauna's details at the end or this evening. So if you have a query, send off an email to Shauna or ask your whoever is within your development officer within the county. And if you're unsure, just ask the question, that's fine. But please don't ignore it at that stage. With social media, like I know every Monday or Tuesday, there's posts all over the place, and we will become aware of blitzes that have been ran throughout the country. And from 2024 onwards, it will be a case that if it is recognised that somebody has been in breach, has looked for approval for a tournament and has gone in contradiction of what's outlined in the tournament, they will be fined at that stage and they will be brought before THDC. So there's no reason for you to be in breach of the policy. So I did mention earlier on, there is an online education workshop, and it's available on the Tubber platform. So that's the Gaelic Games Learning platform. So if you just Google Tubber or Gaelic Games Learning, the Tubber platform will come up to you. And when you go into it, it gives you an option within the Tubber to just search for Go Games workshop, and this will come up. So it's a self-guided workshop within it. And for anybody that's going in with your nursery, under 7s, under 8s, under 9s, under 10s, make sure that they have engaged in this Go Games workshop, and make sure that they know what's happening within it. I think it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. You'll do it there on an evening, sitting at home, scrolling through your phone. So it's not something that you have to massively sit down and concentrate on. There is questionnaires throughout, but it's a little bit of self-guided learning, and it's quite interactive, and you'll probably pick up, especially from the rules, the different rules within Go Games compared to a full-sided game. And it's important that, because there's a lot of coaches are coming into our games from maybe an adult background, and they're thinking adult. Go Games is not adult, and it shouldn't be treated as adult either. They're only children, they're only learning. And it's important that the coach is on the same level of where the rules are and where we're approaching this from. So as I said, the Go Games online referees course is coming in the first 2 weeks of January. This will be aimed at, it's aimed at anybody probably that's involved in the Go Games throughout your club. In theory, it would be brilliant to have our 16, 17, 18-year-olds refereeing the Go Games. In practice, that's not always the case. So I know from experience there that the likelihood is that the evening that you want and the evening you're hosting a Go Games blitz within the club, it'll surely land on the same evening as an under 16 or minor match within the club where they're all not there that evening. So it could be up to the adults, it could be up to the coaches that are involved to pick up a whistle and start refereeing on that evening. And I'd say everybody, there's nearly 100 people on the call here, and I'm sure everybody has had that experience. And that's probably not something we want to get away from. But I would ask that you would engage in the Go Games referees online course and encourage the coaches within your club or within your county to engage in this. Again, it is an ask. I know everybody's time is precious, so I'm not getting away from that fact, and I know everybody is busy, but if we could, over probably the quiet time over the next couple of months, and ask maybe that in the month of December that people engaged in the coach education course, give an hour to that, and in the month of January that they go and do the Go Games referees course, and then we're ready to go with them when everybody goes back in February or March of next year. So just some examples of good practice. So County A, Random County organises Go Games in a hub blitz format once a month, split into regions in the county, clubs of mixed sizes. So we have a big hub that there could be 8 clubs going to that hub and playing on a day. So we maybe have two full-size pitches all set up with our slalom poles and our pitches marked out, and that there's an hour and a half of activity there on the Saturday morning. Children come in, play 2 or 3 matches, and everybody goes home. In County B, clubs of similar size grouping format. This county merged the school calendar, one team clubs being grouped together or integrated into 2 or 3 team groups to create a blitz scenario. So depending on, so that we maybe group together in groups of 6, as an example. So we have one club coming with 1 team, another club will come with 2 teams, that's 3, and then their last club is divided in 3 teams. So we now have 6 teams at that venue, and that's the way that the county organises their blitzes for the first 3 months of the year, and then they review it and see, because there can be a little bit of a split in abilities and different things like that, even at 8, 9, 10 years of age. So it sometimes can be a case that we have to play for a little while before we know where the groupings are going further on in the year. So at that stage, we're about 45 minutes into the presentation. I'm not going to keep you too much longer on a cold November evening where everybody is probably have a cup of tea in front of them, but we will go to the text box there. So I'll just ask Shauna to come in at this stage, if there's anything there that has come in on the text box, or anybody wants to put anything in there at the moment, whether in regard to questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, so there's one, does Camogie and Munsko operate within Go Games policy?
Which working towards Camogie and Munsko coming in under, so it's something that's it's a work in progress at the moment. But at the moment, no is the answer to it, but it is something that we're working towards.
Another one come in, has the rules on trophies for under 12 changed?
For 2024, so it's probably a little bit of a change at under 12, yes. And that's something that the 3 associations will be working towards. So just to be clear on that everyone gets to a final, every child should be going home with a medal, but we are bringing in that it's probably the stepping stone into competitiveness of that they can play on that day, they can play for a final, as a final. And that's not something that counties have to do, but a lot of counties have been doing it in some format for the last 10 or 11 years, and especially at GAA and within Camogie for the last 4 or 5 years. So it's probably it's probably a happy medium of bringing competitiveness into it, but not having a full-out championship format where there's semi-finals and teams getting knocked out before. So everybody is progressing to a final. Was there anything else, Shauna?
There was another question which I think it links to. I thought the rules for under 12 would change for finals. This year coming, no trophies or finals are allowed in any GA sport in 2024. So I think you've answered that there.
Yeah. And I'm not getting there. So in a 3-team league, it's 11 aside max, 9 aside minimum. So what is recommended? That age. So there, I'm not sorry, no, Glenn. I'm not in a 3-team league. It's 11 aside max. So the recommended it's recommended between 9 and 11 a side. So whatever has to happen there within a county, depending on what I suppose I'm within each county. So in some counties they will go with a 9 a side on this one. So some counties will go 10, some counties will go 11. Some counties will have, depending on the size of it, could have an 11 a side and a 10 a side and a 9 a side, depending on the clubs involved in that. So it's up to each county probably to work the sizes that are that are appropriate to their county. So that's why there is a little bit of flexibility within it. And these are the recommendations. So we won't allow it to go over the maximum, but if there's a case that it goes to 7 a side, that's fine as well. So the numbers can always go down, but they can't go above the maximum. I didn't. I suppose the next one there. What's the benefit of changing the current rules of Command Bunskull? I suppose I never said that there was going to be rule changes Command Bunskull. I just said that the Gaelic Games family, from a point of view, are just talking to Command Bunskull at the moment. So under 12, if a club has 2 under 12 teams in a league, can they mix the players, or are the teams fixed with no player changes allowed? Again, that's going to be specific to each county. So if within the county, depending on what way it goes, that they could be going and saying that you have to name, right, this is Shamrock's green team and this is Shamrock's white team. So if that'll be up to the county, the way that they're running their format, because it could be a case of that one is going to be a higher grade than the other. So that'll be up to the counties. So yeah, the Camogie Go games in my county only fix games from under 8 upwards. So in an awful lot of counties, it's from under 8 upwards, which was with the GA that were going, that they had gone 7, 9, and 11 previous to this. That's where the under 7s will be. So Niamh, your county mightn't go with under 8. They could, sorry, they mightn't go with under 7. They could be sticking with under 8. Will there be streaming? What age will it be streamed? No, streaming, as per the policy, streaming is not recommended. If a county board sets up in-house blitzes for the clubs, do their province need to be informed? No. So if it's a county-run event, they don't need. So I suppose it's within the county. They're not going to look for approval from themselves. So anything that's within the county, no, they don't need to. The only thing, if the county is organising and inviting external, they would have to. Okay, I think that's them all, is it? Just on the was I mentioned the under 13 there, so we do have an under 13 policy that's going to be coming in the new year as well. So it's just that bridging gap from Go games to competitive, so it'll be recommended. Why is there an option reslater for under 12 Smart Touch, R size 4? So the the option within it there was that in some cases they felt that the size 4 was preferred to be used, and in some cases, depending on the strength and the players within it, a size 4 was beneficial because the Smart Touch Sliotar was flying further, and it was meaning that the stronger players were actually dominating within it. So the size 4 being brought into it meant that it probably took a couple of yards off the strike, and made the games more competitive at that stage. So that's why the option is there for the Smart Touch or the size 4. Can we present a cup with 112 in 24? Yeah, yes is the answer to that one. So I think we've probably answered that one throughout there. So under 12 at a county run games program. So not a tournaments, a county run games program. As long as there's a league program has been run within the county and every club within the county progresses to a final, there can be finals. There can be, once every team is progresses to a final, there can be a cup presented then at that stage. Yes. Yes. So yeah. No, don't apologize at all. Yeah. So the county board will at that stage will set out what the numbers are, and that has to happen as well, because you can't have a case of if it's left open, that it can cause conflict, where I've seen where a team comes and decides that we're just playing 6, but they have 9 players. And this thing is that we give every child a game. So there just shouldn't be a situation where any team is leaving players on the sideline just for the sake of that. So if it's aside from the county board point of view, it's aside, that's what it is. Now there can be a little bit of mix and match, especially in the blitz situations. But at depending on what is allowed there from a county board. So there might be the recommendation that 6 aside, but on an evening that 2 teams come with 14 and they play 7 aside, it means that there's not going to be subs sitting out. No, you're not allowed to organise under 6 friendly Go Games matches. So Go Game starts at under 7, and under 6 tournaments won't be approved either. Okay, I think Shauna, that's all. I haven't missed any of them, Shauna, have I?
Nope, that's them all.
Okay, so from myself and Shauna, thanks a million for everybody for attending this evening. I know everybody in the call has a lot going on, and I recognize a lot of names coming in on the chat there. So I know the people that are probably asking are probably the busiest people within the clubs as well. So I certainly appreciate your time. We've kept it within the